The world of BTS has always been filled with moments that touch the heart, but what recently spread across fan communities left ARMY shaken in ways they never expected. In a place far from the dazzling lights of the stage, a private gym where Jungkook has often been seen training with unshakable determination, something happened that has ignited a storm of emotion and speculation worldwide. Reports began to circulate of Jungkook, BTS's youngest member, standing in that very space with his head bowed, his voice trembling, and words of regret spilling into the silence. And beside him, Taehyung, known as V, celebrated for his composure and charisma, was seen struggling to hold back tears. The image was brief, the details hazy, but it was enough to send shockwaves through ARMY, leaving millions wondering, what could have possibly driven one of the strongest idols to apologize so intensely? And why did Taehyung break down in response? The scene, as it was described, unfolded in silence, heavy enough to feel suffocating. This was no stage, no scripted performance. It was raw, unfiltered, and far too vulnerable to ignore. The gym, a place that symbolized Jungkook's discipline, his pursuit of perfection, and his ceaseless will to grow stronger, was suddenly transformed into a backdrop of fragility and human emotion. For a star who rarely shows weakness in front of others, Jungkook's trembling words carried a weight that fans could not overlook. Witnesses claimed his shoulders were tense, his body language speaking of guilt and surrender, as though the burden of his unspoken feelings had finally grown too heavy to carry alone. Taehyung, meanwhile, was visibly shaken. Those who have admired him for years know that he rarely lets emotions consume him in public. His strength lies in his quiet composure, his ability to smile even when storms rage inside. Yet, in that moment, his tears betrayed a depth of feeling that could not be hidden. This has raised a question that burns louder than any other. What connection tied Jungkook's apology to Taehyung's reaction? Was this a clash of personal struggles spilling into their bond? Was it a moment of reconciliation over past misunderstandings? Or was it something even heavier, linked to the relentless pressures of fame and expectations that weigh on their shoulders every single day? Theories erupted almost immediately. Some fans suggested it was tied to internal conflicts, the kind that naturally build up after years of working, living, and sacrificing together. Others speculated Jungkook's words were not only about himself, but about something that directly touched Taehyung's heart, perhaps an unresolved wound, or an old misunderstanding finally brought into the open. But beyond the theories, one truth became undeniable. The bond between Jungkook and Taehyung, a friendship that has always inspired warmth and admiration, was laid bare in an entirely new light. To see Jungkook apologize and Taehyung break down was like watching two brothers strip away every layer of the idol image the world sees and instead reveal something deeply human, something painfully real. The silence that followed Jungkook's words was described as deafening, broken only by Taehyung's attempts to regain his composure. Those who imagined the scene could picture the quiet intensity, the kind of atmosphere that lingers in the air long after words are spoken. For ARMY, it became a powerful reminder. Beneath the perfection, beneath the flawless performances and polished appearances, these men are human beings carrying invisible burdens. Experts weighing in on the story have pointed out how apologies delivered in spaces like this are rarely casual. The gym, symbolic of resilience and self-control, suggests Jungkook chose it intentionally, as though it was the only place where he could confront his emotions honestly. Could it be that this sacred space of discipline and growth was where he finally felt strong enough to be vulnerable? Taehyung's tears added another layer of intensity. In a culture where restraint is often expected, especially from idols of his stature, his decision not to hold back struck fans deeply. It was not weakness, it was authenticity. Proof that whatever passed between him and Jungkook in that moment touched something too significant to suppress. And yet, as the story spread, another truth came to light. No concrete proof has ever confirmed this incident. No photos, no verified witnesses, no official statements. The details, vivid as they may seem, appear to have grown out of fragments of fan speculation, repeated so many times that they began to feel like reality. The image of Jungkook bowing his head in apology and Taehyung's tears flowing freely is powerful, but it remains, at least for now, unsubstantiated. This raises an uncomfortable but necessary question. Why do such stories take root so easily? The answer lies in the emotional investment of ARMY. Fans see their idols not only as performers but as humans whose lives and struggles mirror their own. The idea of Jungkook apologizing, of Taehyung crying, resonates because it embodies universal themes of forgiveness, reconciliation, and the fragility of even the strongest bonds. It speaks to struggles we all know too well, the weight of regret, the power of empathy, and the healing that can come from vulnerability. But when such stories are consumed as truth, they risk misleading fans and creating unnecessary worry. Without evidence, this moment, no matter how emotionally compelling, remains in the realm of rumor. It is a symbolic narrative, not a confirmed reality. That does not mean it is meaningless. On the contrary, it reveals something profound about the relationship between BTS and ARMY. The fact that such a story gained traction at all shows just how deeply fans yearn to connect with the humanity of their idols. It demonstrates the way BTS's bond with each other reflects back into the hearts of millions, offering a mirror through which fans process their own emotions. And perhaps that is why the story resonates so powerfully. Whether or not Jungkook truly apologized in a gym, whether or not Taehyung shed tears in that moment, the image of it captures the essence of something very real. BTS members, despite their extraordinary status, are human beings navigating struggles, pressures, and the complexities of relationships. The fascination with this story also highlights a bigger issue in the K-pop world: the relentless expectations placed on idols. Jungkook and Taehyung, who grew up under the spotlight, are under immense pressure to be flawless. Fans know this, and so when they imagine them breaking down in private, it feels painfully believable. In the end, the truth of the story matters less than what it represents. It symbolizes the cracks that inevitably form when human vulnerability collides with impossible standards. It reminds ARMY that behind every stage performance, behind every perfect smile, there are struggles we cannot see. And so the question lingers: did Jungkook truly apologize that day? Did Taehyung really cry? Perhaps we will never know. But whether fact or fiction, this moment has etched itself into the collective imagination of ARMY as one of the most emotional and unforgettable stories in recent memory. What remains certain is this: Jungkook and Taehyung, like all BTS members, continue to inspire not through rumors, but through their music, their dedication, and the genuine love they share with their fans. And maybe, just maybe, the real message of this story is not about uncovering the truth, but about remembering the humanity that connects us all, idols and fans alike.